All right, what's going on, everybody? We've got Todd here, who's been inside of Crown Athletics for quite some time now, and super stoked to have him. And he's just going to share a little bit about his journey, his pathway. So, if you'd like to say hi, Todd, here he is. Anything that you'd like to say, Todd?
Yeah, hi everybody. Thanks for having me, Taylor. And yeah, just super excited about joining, Crown and what we've been able to accomplish together, and just kind of excited to share my journey with everybody.
Yeah, sweet man. So, tell me a little bit more background just on you, because obviously you're a busy guy. We know, but not everybody listening might not know of the life that you kind of live, actually.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, background on me, I work in finance. I'm a financial advisor for both individuals, families, and businesses. So, I run my own business. Recently did some adjustments to that structure. So, anybody that has their own business or any entrepreneur knows time is like super valuable. That's like your most precious commodity, right? So I'm always on the go, always, trying to grow the business, trying to, research investments. Time is definitely at a premium.
Yeah. Now, I'm curious, actually, and this is something that I don't actually know. What got you into finance? Like, what took you into that pathway, and especially the entrepreneurial route too, when you got your own practice?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So I actually started off in banking, and I went that route for a little while. And I actually had a colleague that was in the investment side at the bank and said, "Hey, have you ever looked at this? This is really interesting, and I think you'd be really good at this." And at the time, I kind of dismissed it, and I was like, I don't know. I kind of like what I'm doing. And then one thing led to another, and I ended up moving to a different area, and I had an opportunity to, join an investment firm, and I was like, wow, actually, this is really cool. So as soon as I kind of got both feet in the door with an investment firm and started doing it on a daily basis, I was really, really excited about, how all that, you know, experience and also the different aspects of like my personality and different qualities that I have could contribute to some success in that field. So once I kind of got in the door, it was like, this is what I want to do.
Nice. That's awesome, man. And that
Yeah.
kind of is a different pathway of the life that you've told me about before, of being an athlete, playing hockey, and all that. So tell me a little bit more about that transition of like athlete life into developing in your career, and then eventually into what you got going on now.
Yeah, definitely. I grew up playing sports my whole life. I mean, since I was like 5, 6 years old, it wasn't really like an option for me. My dad, it was just like very much like, hey, if you're in sports, you're going to stay out of trouble. It's going to build leadership. It's going to, build teamwork, all these great qualities. And so, yeah, ever since I was like 5, 6 years old, I played football, baseball. Hockey is the sport I gravitated towards the most just because I mean, it's just action packed. It's a lot of fun. And so I did that up until I got into college. College, I kind of had a few injuries, took a step back, wanted to focus a little bit more on academics. And then actually after college, after I left, I started picking back up where I left off with hockey again, started playing in an adult league and, started going down that route. So a lot of fun.
Nice. I love that. And it's a different mentality to have as an athlete for sure, which I'm sure is carried over into your professional career too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's always that competitive edge that is ingrained in me, and not in like a malicious way or like I want to see other people fail or anything, but just like I am always pushing myself to be the best and to try and go above and beyond. So whether that's like if I'm just cooking at home, like I want to make the best dinner I can. If, I'm here advising a client, like I want to give them the best advice I can give them. If I'm lifting or if I'm doing my cardio, I want to push myself to the next level every time. That mentality has definitely served me well over the years.
Yeah, and I've seen that with most high performers, especially with the athletic background. That's success is not something that you will just yeah, whatever. No, it's inevitable. No matter what, you'll
Hmm.
get there, right? So
Yep,
that's really
exactly.
cool to see that transition for you. And then with like, that kind of mindset and just transitioning away from hockey and into your career, what was that kind of pathway like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it got to a point where, I it just wasn't a priority for me anymore. I got married. I was starting a family. Um, I wanted to focus on different things and kind of just got deprioritized, I guess you could say. But not that I didn't like doing it or didn't love doing it anymore. It just, how life is. It kind of just got squeezed out, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's something I
So,
always wanted to kind of pick back up. But something that, I actually learned from working with you and being involved with Crown is, I used to have this mentality of like, if I can't do something perfectly or all the way or 100%, I'm not going to do it, right? And that was kind of a trap that I fell into with, the physical element of my life and just athletics and just that whole thing is, well, I can't do it the right way or the way I want to do it exactly, so I'm just not going to do it.
yeah. Which that brings up a great point because just like anybody else, when we first talked, there was a little bit of hesitations and, oh, I kind of need to think about it. So, what was your biggest hesitation before coming on board? Was it that aspect of like the all or nothing, or was it something else?
Yeah, I think it was, pretty similar to that mindset of like, I'm building a business, I have a lot of time commitments, I have all this stuff I'm doing. I don't really know if I have the, time and, energy to focus on this and give it my 100%, right? So I think that was my biggest hesitation, starting up. But I think the biggest thing for me was just the mindset shift, and I kind of came into it organically a little bit on my own of just like, look, I got to do something, right? This all or nothing thing hasn't been working. I'm falling off. I'm getting out of shape. I'm not happy with physically where I'm at. So I need to change my mindset. And once I was able to kind of wrap my head around that concept a little bit, things started to fall into place a little bit more.
Nice, man. And it's definitely not something to gloss over easily. You've absolutely crushed it and made some big, big transformational changes, not only with, your physical, but your overall energy and everything. So, like, if you actually know the numbers, let's see if you know them because you've made an exceptional transformation. Do you know them off the top of your head?
I probably know some of them roughly, yeah.
Yeah. So let's dive into kind of what you've accomplished. So you're down. I want to say it's 24 pounds pure fat, right?
Sounds about right. Yep.
And we've gained how much muscle tissue?
I think it's about 11 or 12 pounds, roughly.
Insane, right? So from a physical standpoint, looking in the mirror, what's the big thing that you were seeing versus what you see now?
Yeah, definitely. Big, big, big change, right? Like, before it was kind of the typical, I'm in my 40s, middle age. It's kind of the typical, like, almost dad bod look or like this skinny fat look where, I had a little, extra weight in the midsection, probably in the glutes and the legs, not a whole lot of muscle tissue. Just kind of that skinny fat, kind of almost dad bod kind of look. Compared to now, I mean, much, much different, have a lot more musculature, especially the upper body where we're focusing on shoulders, chest, arms, all, a lot bigger. And then just shredded, man. Like, honestly, I look in the mirror and I'm like, if I looked at a picture of myself now compared to when I was in my 20s, it's pretty darn close. It's pretty phenomenal.
That's awesome, man. And it's really cool to have seen that whole process because you bought in on it, right? Like, you're obviously
Oh
no
yeah.
stranger to hard work, being an athlete and an entrepreneur yourself. So you know. But like,
Yep.
what really made you finally take that step forward? Like, what was that thing that pushed you over to like, you know what, now's the time to really start tackling things and get after my health and performance?
Yeah, I mean, I think the number one thing was just taking a step back and just looking at my life holistically. And like, I had a conversation with one of my coworkers here, and he was like, "Hey, we're just really lucky to be where we're at, in the position that we're at, serving our clients. My number one thing is I want to make sure I'm around for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
right?" And so when we had that conversation, I was just like, wow, I haven't really thought about it like that. And, what good is making a lot of money or being successful or, having all this stuff if you're not healthy to enjoy it, right? And once I framed it in that way, I was like, I have to do something immediately.
Yeah, that's sometimes a hard thing for people to recognize, and they'll still push it off. But once you flip that switch, obviously, you can see it not only with the physical, but many areas of your life. So I'm curious, like, what has been that biggest win that you've seen through going through the process of full blown transformation, physical, mental work, all that? Like, what was that biggest win that you've seen so far?
I mean, aside from just the physical appearance, I would say energy levels up quite a bit. So, it used to be maybe get 5, 6 hours of sleep a night. I would wake up, pound a couple of cups of coffee, and kind of just power through the day. And then like by the time like 2, 3 o'clock rolled around, I was kind of dragging.
Mm.
Now, like I have energy throughout the entire day. I'm able to perform at a high level regardless of what I'm doing. If I'm working out, I'm working. Even just spending time socially with friends and family. Like I'm a lot more present, a lot more engaged because of, I'm healthy. I have the energy level to participate now.
That's amazing. I love that. So, with where you're at right now, you've seen all these transformations with respect to just multiple areas of your life, right? We've worked on a lot of different things, and a lot of it was like as things happen, being present, but also enjoying like the holidays and travels and things like that in a way that
Yeah.
fits your life. Which the congruency
Hmm.
with that, and it's something we've talked about, is just like the all or nothing, and it's still something like we're always working on something, right? And I've loved to see that for you when you put it in your check-ins, like, oh, I'm present, oh, I'm going to spend time with family, I'm doing this, and you feel good doing it rather than
Hmm.
this is pulling me away from the goal I set, right? So I
Hmm.
know even myself, we get locked into this like thought process of like I have to get this done. If not, it's a distraction. It's going to pull me away of what I'm trying to do, and then you almost hold a grudge with the changes that happen in the scheduling because of that. But
Yep.
it's really cool to actually hear you say, besides just the check-in, that life quality has been improved, especially your relationships outside of work and your personal development, right?
Yeah. And just kind of add on to that real quick, as far as like, I think a lot of people have the mentality of like, oh, I can't count calories or I can't, work out a certain number of days a week because it, it's going to be a lifestyle bomb, right? Of like, I don't want to change my entire lifestyle just to work out or whatever. I literally went on vacation to Vegas, right? Taylor knows this for a week. I ate, I drank. I mean, I did everything that like people do in Vegas, had a great time. Yes, did it like have a little bit of an impact on my workout and my, program and everything? Yes, but then you get right back on track, right? So it's not like one of those things where, you can't live your life. Like you're locked in, you're eating only like rice cakes, like it's not like that.
Please no, please no. No. So that trip, absolutely enjoyed it. Right, came back. There was a little rebound, but smashed workouts that week. Come back like I feel so strong. Like that's the beauty of it, right? And
Right?
you've gone through the whole fat loss phase, then the maintenance, and now we're in a building phase, which you're up. I would say on average from a peak low to right about now is like 6-ish pounds. I want to say I'd have to double check on that, but there is a method
Yeah,
to
give or
it.
take.
yeah, you can use those events in life to actually push the trajectory of your actual goals too. So I was actually
Hmm.
super stoked that you, I guess we could say let loose a little bit, right?
Right? Yeah.
I mean, that's the only thing to do when you're in Vegas, right?
Yep.
So I'm curious, with everything that you've gone through, what would you know, tell somebody that was on the fence of like getting started with something like this, with your experience that you've gone through now?
I mean, my number one thing is just start now. Like, don't make an excuse. Don't make any kind of, um, concessions that, oh, it's gonna ruin my lifestyle or I can't do it because of X, Y, Z. You absolutely can do it. And if you, give it a little bit of priority, you're gonna see huge returns.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And that's a constant reminder we always need, right? Because there's always going to be little adjustments. But the first one, honestly, right, that first step can usually be the toughest. But
Right.
I'm super stoked with all the progress that you've made and the continued progress that we're seeing, which we just revamped everything, which you could be totally honest. It's not easy, right? It's never going to be easy because you get stronger, you get better, and you're just constantly developing and pushing the threshold, right? So,
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, but it's something that I enjoy. And like, we were talking about earlier, I'm the kind of person that I'm always trying to get to a new level and a new, milestone, so to speak. So, every time I'm in, lifting, I'm like, I need to push that up 2.5 pounds or 5 pounds or whatever it is. So I really enjoy working out. Like, it kind of gives me space to like reflect and not have to be bogged down by like all the other noise in my life as far as like work and different responsibilities. It's kind of almost a little bit of a safe haven.
hmm yeah, and we need that, right? Because with your
Hmm.
work, you and I both know that we do the same thing. We can work 24/7, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that 45-minute, an hour break to just lock in and focus in on just you. And, when you're
Huge.
lifting on the assault bike, when you're hitting the weights, sometimes that's all you can focus in on, right? And it gives us that sense
Yeah.
of relief to actually be able to do more, which I would say that translates to some of the family time and the exposure that you have with that in a more
Yep.
present state. So really, really
Yeah.
cool, dude. You've absolutely crushed everything and just continuing to, right? So with that, I appreciate you hopping on here. Is there anything else that you'd like to add or give a little nugget for somebody?
No, I appreciate you having me on, Taylor. It's been a blast to share. I do want to give a shout out to my wife. She recently joined the program as well. So she's absolutely crushing it. And then, I have some other friends that have joined the program and they've had some really good feedback. So definitely, it's not just me that's seeing this success. I have a lot of other friends and family that have joined and they're doing really well also.
Love that. Thanks, man. And super stoked for everybody, honestly, because it gives me that fulfillment just like you do when you're getting those numbers up for people as well. And if you need a financial advisor and you want a super big ass one, hit Todd up. Maybe I'll even drop a link down below where you could, I don't know if you have an application form or something, but we'll do that for you too.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah,
can make it work.
thank you so much for popping on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a good one. Take care.